Hey, so that episode of Game of Thrones was pretty exciting and cool, hey? But it was also pretty dumb. Not only that, but it might actually ruin the show for me. I actually was entranced for 99% of that episode. I loved it. Sure, it had its problems here and there, but as long as they delivered some sort of ending that wasn't just playing it by the numbers, I would have been totally fine with it. Unfortunately, we get Deus Ex Arya at the end, and she fucking teleports behind the Night King and kills him. And all of a sudden, all the issues with the episode are laid bare. Not only that, but the way the showrunners handle the Night King completely goes against George's ethos for the entire story. He didn't want bad guys to be one-dimensional, cartoonish villains, and that's what we get with the Night King, and it's beyond disappointing. The Godswood is exposed. Why did the Night King just fly over and roast Bran? Why didn't he wait a couple months? He's been waiting thousands of years. Why doesn't he just wait 2 more months and starve out the people at Winterfell and then roll over them? That'd be easy. Why doesn't he just skip fighting the strongest foe he has right now, bolster his army in the south, and return to the north when, again, they're starving, they have less resources, and the Night King could just roll over them? Why is he so stupid? Why is he all of a sudden impatient? They even show that he's a patient character in the earlier season, in the terrible episode where the gang goes and tries to steal a white. He waits for Dany to show up to get her dragon, because that's part of his plan, and he's patient. Why all of a sudden does the Night King just fucking trip on the finish line and blow his load early? Why I can't comprehend any of the defense tactics. Why were the siege engines placed in front of the infantrymen? Why were they only used once to an effect that we didn't even really see? Why did they let the Dothraki just charge mindlessly into an army of the dead when they had no chance to win alone that way? Oh, I know, the Dothraki in an open field, Ned. But this is a different situation. Why weren't they smarter? Why weren't they punished for being so stupid? Oh, I know all the Dothraki die, but are there any named Dothraki characters actually left in the story to give us any stakes? Not that I know of. No, not that I know. Why did the characters the main characters I'm talking about, have so much plot armor? Why didn't Game of Thrones teach us and show us, yeah, remember Game of Thrones, remember the Red Wedding, remember Oberyn's death, remember Ned's death, remember all that crazy shit? Yeah, well, we're still in it, and so are you. But no, all these, even characters like Tormund, who, I love Tormund, don't get me wrong, but he's pretty expendable. Even he's fine. Brienne's fine. Jaime's fine. Pod's fine. Oh no, they killed Jorah and Theon? Oh no. And half the people, some of the people I was watching it with, they didn't even know Dolorous Ed's name. So that was just pointless too. It's like, oh, you're killing off some of okay, so the fluff. Cutting a little bit of the fat, but not actually cutting into the meat like they used to. Just has no balls anymore. So many times we see them surrounded by the undead, and when the undead surround any other faceless fodder character, they just overwhelm them and fuck them up. And oh, I know these guys are good fighters, the main characters, but goddamn, they're not that much better. They shouldn't be that much better. The power level makes absolutely no goddamn sense. Like, the Night King raises literally an army of dead people around Jon, and he's fine. How are we okay with this? Fucking Dany and Jorah fight off, again, like an army of dead people, like thousands. And somehow, they go up and stab Jorah just a fuck ton of times. But Dany, who can barely swing a sword, is fine for the entire fight. God damn. So stupid. It's so stupid. How is anybody defending this? This isn't the same show. This is just some fun fantasy romp. God damn it. It's not Game of Thrones anymore. It's not A Song of Ice and Fire. It's just some run-of-the-mill, high budget, with like it has good production value. Don't get me wrong. That part of it, very well done. But oh my god, has the story just become so fucking stupid. How is Drogon gonna be fine in the next episode after getting completely fucked up by those undead guys? They just like never show what happened to him. How is Rhaegal gonna be okay? How, in the preview for the next episode, how do they still have any men left? In the end of that episode, it really seems like the only people left are just the main characters, the people with names that we know. For some reason, they're just invincible. When the zombies reach them, they just kind of pat at them and gingerly walk by like they're shy schoolgirls. What the fuck? Oh my god, and don't get me started on the way the Night King dies. That has to be one of the dumbest scenes I've ever seen in my... I've seen too much TV. Too much. More than I should have. I should honestly... This episode might convince me to just stop watching TV. Because holy fuck was that so stupid. Like, that big ass weirwood tree is pretty fucking far into the Godswood. How does Arya get past all those goddamn ice zombies, man? And speaking of, like, the Night King's generals, what in absolute holy hell were they doing for that entire goddamn battle besides finger pop at each other's assholes, I guess, the entire time? They did nothing. There should be, like, at least 80 or some of them, because Craster says he gave them 99 sons. And sure, you can deduct some for the ones that Jon killed, the one that Sam killed. But there should be way more. Why aren't they just fucking throwing spears all night long at Jon and Dany on their goddamn dragons? Anyways. But back to Arya. She never learned any of this shit at the House of Black and White. The Faceless Men, she basically failed kindergarten with the Faceless Men. And now she's like Albert fucking Einstein, just big braining it out there, just playing ADD chess. She's a level 100 mafia boss now. Like, when she was in Bravos, all she did was clean and beg on the streets, and then fail an assassination, and then fight the waif. At what point did she become, honestly, probably the best fighter in Westeros? How did this happen? I'd understand if they made her like a pretty good assassin. Sure, that makes sense. But her power level is way too high for like 1v1s. Like, she can beat Brienne? Like, oh, okay. That makes sense. Fucking stupid ass fan service. But anyways, how does she teleport behind the Night King? How does she get past that wall of undead? Why does the Night King have to be there to kill Bran in the first goddamn place? Why? It pretty much just did away with all of the theme, like a bunch of the big overarching themes and plot lines. Like, what was the whole point of Bran's storyline? Jon looks like an idiot now. Cersei made the right choice. They didn't need her. They didn't need her army. She would have lost men for no reason. You know? Good for Cersei. She did the right thing. You know? She saved a bunch of her people. And I always assumed, and a lot of people talk about this, that one of the big overarching themes in Game of Thrones is that the petty squabbles we have amongst us, like the one for the Iron Throne and the War of the Five Kings, is a detriment to humanity because big issues can be looming in the background and we can have our blinders on, focusing on these small problems, and we can ignore the bigger ones as they come down. But nope, the big problem, the long night, which was supposed to be apparently long, arguably probably supposed to be longer than a night, didn't last one night. We didn't get one entire night. How was it a long night? It was like half a night. How was that long? It was a short night. Fucking stupid. So stupid. Ugh. I shouldn't be this mad about a TV show. I shouldn't be this mad about a TV show. But goddamn. Like, what the fuck, man? I think I'm done with Game of Thrones. I think that's it. I think it's just not a show for me anymore. I think Ideas of Ice and Fire said the same thing. It's not written for me anymore. It's written for other people, and it's not what I want. It's not the show. He also said the Ideas of Ice and Fire also said that it's not the show that he signed up for, and I would totally agree. It's not the show. As someone who's watched from the beginning and read the books, that if you've interacted with earlier seasons at all beyond a superficial level and you're invested in it, how is this what we got on Sunday? How is that what we signed up for? It's like paying someone to build you a supercar. You check in once in a while and it's starting to look really cool. You show up halfway through and it's really turning out to be something special. Then you show up 3/4 of the way through and you see some things have changed, you know? Some things seem a little out of order, but hey, fuck it, I don't know cars. I'm a little confused, but you know, I'll let the mechanic who's building it kind of take the reins, because he's supposed to know what he's doing. But then, finally, the day comes to unveil your supercar. You're practically drooling. You're ecstatic to see this thing that you've been waiting so long for, that you've invested so much energy into. You just can't wait to see what it's like. You go to the mechanic's garage. The car lays under a red blanket of silk. The mechanic quickly rips the silk off the car and unveils your prize. And it's a fucking 2012 Honda Civic. Like, not a bad car, but not what you wanted, not what you paid for, not what you were invested in. That's, I think, the best analogy I can think of for the show. I was promised something at the beginning. Now it's not that anymore. So I'm out. I think I'm just done with this show. I don't even want to watch the rest of the episodes. Also, I don't know if anybody noticed, and this is a kind of a weird minor thing, but Mel's death was like almost exactly like a death out of Chronicles of Riddick, where one of the characters goes, it's like scene for scene the same, and he walks into the cremator or the sun, and he like slowly fades away. It's like shot for shot the same as Mel's death with like Davos, and even the characters have a similar relationship. It's very strange. But anyways, I wonder if anybody else feels the same. I see some people who are on my side, and I don't even want to say on my side. Some people who don't like it, and some other people a lot of people who are defending it. And I get it. Like, it was interesting. It was like really entertaining, but it was really fucking dumb.